There's a question, is there any risk of loading on the frog with the long term, with pads on long term?
Again, the pads are flexible. So what I have seen, obviously when the horses go in horse sickness, we take them off.
Oh, that's great. Okay.
And we give it a rest. But in the long run, the only bad things about pads is you get obviously thrush.
Okay.
You can have a little bit of issues there.
But you want to try and spread those forces from the wall, and try and spread them out over the whole surface of that foot, so that you mitigate against areas that are putting too much load. Taking the force off the heel and trying pushing it to the rest of the foot. So I think that you have to, and a lot of these pads and inserts, that's what the aim is to try and spread the forces around and provide frog support and try and offload that pressure from the heel. And when you were talking earlier about how it improves the gait related to your breakover. For example, if your toe is very long, you can visualize that foot going down with the long toe is going to sit flat onto the floor. But if you bring your toe back and you've now got a shorter foot almost.
Listen, I know I'm speaking to two men here, but there was a very big fashion with women's heels a few years ago where you had this ridiculously long pointy toe that stood out about 2 inches from your last toe.
Yeah.
And walking in those was the most ridiculous thing.
It's almost like clown feet.
Yes, yes, exactly.
So that's the basic premise.
I feel a lot less sexy now, thank you. That's clown feet, that's great, yeah.
That's the basic premise behind like a long toe, flat foot, and why it's slower and your breakover is slower. So, I mean, you can do other things to increase, you can have a beveled shoe.
Beveled shoe. You can have
and what is a beveled shoe? Explain to me. Is that where it doesn't sit?
So it doesn't sit on the solar surface.
Okay.
And then also you have a roller toe.
Okay.
Which allows a quicker breakover.
Okay. Yeah, that's kind of edged away.
So that's the idea. Is that the horse kind of rolls onto the front of the toe and it facilitates in that movement of that.
That's fascinating.
That foot going through. That's the whole idea about performance, is that you want to increase the biomechanics so that, for example, force loading, if you've got a weight going straight down through the center of your pedal bone, that weight will then not go onto your soft tissue structures. But if you've got a very negative angle and you have your fetlock sticking further out, what's keeping that fetlock in position? And it's your digital flexors that are doing that, a lot of that work, because you have the loading of the digital flexors and then they are pushing pressure back onto your fetlock to bring it back over. So if you have a more, the conformation is better, then you have much less soft tissue damage.